Good morning, Liesl. Thank you ever so much for joining me today. I'm very excited about this.
I am too, Stacey. Good morning. It's lovely to be here with you.
So, can I just ask, your name is quite unusual. I've never heard it before. So, is that a shortened for something else, or is it?
Yes, it is. Liesl is derived from Elizabeth, apparently, in Austria. So it's Austrian. Now it's only about 7 years ago that I met a Lisa from Austria, who, when I introduced myself and said, "Hi, I'm Liesl," she started laughing. And I thought, what are you laughing at, Lisa?
Yeah.
What? And she said that my name, she informed me first and foremost that it was derived from Elizabeth, but that it was actually a nickname, and she was called Liesl when she was being gregarious. Yeah, so it's actually more of a nickname. So then I had an identity crisis and thought, I haven't even got a real name. Oh my word, I've just got a nickname. But yeah, so that's where it comes from.
Love that. Oh, I love that. And I've got Stacey from Yorkshire.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yorkshire, love the Yorkshire.
Love the Yorkshire. So, you've very much intrigued me because you are involved in something that I've never heard of before. So I'll have to speak to you. So you are studying naturopathy.
Correct.
Correct. Can you please explain what it is as a naturopathist you would offer?
Right, so as a naturopathist, so I'm a trainee naturopath, and naturopathy is all about healing the body through good hydration protocols and food. And when I say food, I'm talking about pure food. What the planet provides in abundance, and what's out there, what nature offers. So, all our beautiful herbs, our plants, the planet is rich and in abundance with so much that sadly these days we pay little attention to, because we're so attracted to all the chemical laden products on our shelves in the supermarkets, which really are not actually providing us with very much in terms of good pure nutrition for the body. So that's what naturopathy is about. It's about bringing, in a sense, it's about bringing us humans back into alignment with our truest core, pure selves, and back to sort of primitive man, and really looking out there, outdoors, out to the planet, to nature, to be guided onto how we can nourish the body effectively, and in many cases heal the body as well.
I was going to say there's a lot of things now that I feel are illnesses that are now very much at the forefront of our lives, where actually people wouldn't have had some of these diseases years ago. And it must be what we're putting in, like IBS, intolerances, all that sort of thing.
Absolutely, Stacey. Absolutely.
I know quite a lot of people that are gluten intolerant, and obviously the pastas and that sort of thing, and the breads. And I don't actually believe that bread is made from anything natural anymore. I just don't.
No, I quite agree with you. It's absolutely filled to the max with preservatives, and like with everything, it has to have a long shelf life.
Yeah.
Because that's the most lucrative way. That's the way man makes money,
Exactly.
and sadly, it does often come down to that. So products are getting more and more laden with chemicals and toxicity that the body has no idea what to do with.
No.
So it's no wonder that we've got an increasing amount of chronic disease, intolerances. I mean, you sit in a room full of people these days, and I'd say probably 70-80% of that room has some sort of intolerance, allergy, is living with some sort of chronic ailment. We might be living longer these days, but I'd say that we're probably living with a lot more chronic ailments, and we're all a lot more symptomatic. And you're also seeing a lot more neurodiversity as well. You know,
Yeah.
a lot more people these days are being diagnosed with autism, ADHD, not just children, but adults. And it does make you bring into question, like, what the hell is on our shelves? You know, what are we filling our bodies with? Because, you know, the toxicity levels are through the roof for people, you know, and all these like gluten, dairy intolerances, you know, it's the body's way, it's the body communicating to the individual. Hey, you're overloaded. What is this stuff? I'm overloaded. You're not feeding me real stuff. I don't know what to do with this. You know, so the body will always strive to survive as well. So it's very clever, very, very clever. You know, so what we put into it, it will work out, you know, is this of harm to me? And more often than not, with our products on the shelves, they are of harm. So the body will cleverly go, right, what can I do with this? I need to keep it away from this organ, or I need to store it here. It will do its very best to try to rebalance the body back to being able to function as optimally as it possibly can under the duress, under the circumstances. Because, you know, most of our bodies are highly inflamed and highly toxic, and the body's working so hard to keep a balance to try and regulate itself in amongst all this toxicity.
You see, it's like when I talk to people, I was talking to a lady at the fair the other day, and we were talking about ginger. Now, I add ginger to my water all the time. Well, ginger is amazing for anti-inflammatory, brilliant anti-inflammatory. And it's things like arthritis, inflammation in the joints, that sort of thing. Now, I'm not saying that ginger is just going to cure you like that. But I do think that what we're putting in, if we could put the right thing in, perhaps that would be massively reduced.
Absolutely, Stacey, you're quite right. And once you start, part of my course, the naturopathy course, is that you start to, exactly what you've just said there, you start to look to foods, the pure foods and pure herbs and things out there, and what properties, what nutritional benefit they could have, and what, you know, what symptoms you're experiencing in your own body, and how those could aid your body. And you start to gradually cleanse the body off all the toxicity, or off all the dehydrating stuff on our shelves. You know, you start to gradually take out your gluten, take out your caffeine, excessive sugar, you know, because it's all so, I mean, it's so inflammatory to the body. So you start to cleanse, and you start to bring in these beautiful things like ginger, like you described there, you know, and there's so many herbs out there that are so good at supporting different ailments and helping the body to realign and rebalance itself, and particularly effective in chronic conditions as well. But it's not going to be a quick fix. No. It's got to be something that you have patience, and you attune yourself more and more to your body and whatever your body's going through, and you try and quieten the mind and listen more to what the body is telling you, because the body will always give you messages. It's working out what those messages are, and then giving it what it's seeking. You know, so just an example, if you're somebody that's seeking a lot of sugar, you know, and you're like, oh, I just can't get over that sugar craving, I need sugar every day. That is your body communicating something to you. There's an excess there, there's an addiction there, there's an imbalance there, there's a deficiency there. That's what naturopathy guides you to. That message there, that you're wanting that sugar so desperately, that's your body saying something to you. And that's where you've got to try and really tune into your body and work out, well, is that because I've got some blood sugar imbalances? Is that because I'm highly stressed? Is that because I'm overusing, you know, sugar to comfort eat? Is that because I'm dysregulated in my nervous system? Is it because I'm not getting enough healthy fats? Because often when we're not having sufficient omega-3s, which are completely stripped these days out of our diets, the body will go to the next quick fix of trying to balance itself. So it might then lean on sugars to try and get a quick energy hit. And so the brain and the body becomes then addicted to sugar, which then becomes very detrimental because it's inflammatory and it sparks off a whole cascade of awful symptoms within the body. So yeah, that's just an example of the body flagging up to you. It's trying to tell you something.
So just going back to your omega-3 then. So do you, part of naturopathy, is that like, I know it's nutrition, but would you help somebody on the path to right nutrition? Is that how you would work?
Absolutely. So our protocol in naturopathy is first and foremost addressing hydration.
Yeah.
One huge aspect of the human body is our water percentage. The body is the body and brain is a massive amount of water.
Yes.
And we're every day fueling it with dehydrating pops, caffeine, sugar, all the toxicity. All of it strips the body at a cellular level of hydration. So the body's already getting up in the morning and it's already been dehydrated through the nighttime because it's been cleansing. And it wakes up, and more often than not we don't give it water, we give it caffeine. So then it becomes like stimulants, stimulated and suffers even more with hydration and water being taken away from the cells. So we first look towards, is the individual having sufficient hydration, and what kind of hydration are they doing? Is the water filtered?
Yes. I'm a big advocate for the filtered water, massively.
Absolutely, Stacey, and you do right, because our water, sadly, again, can work really against us, our tap water, because it's laden with a lot of fluoride and what have you, which are very detrimental to the body. So we'd look at trying to encourage that person to maybe ease off on the pops, cut down on the caffeine, and wake up in the morning, and the first thing in the morning is to have some filtered water with maybe a drop of lemon and maybe a tiny amount of good quality Celtic sea salt. Yeah, and that's like your natural electrolyte, and that then gives a message to your body. Hello. We're getting a bit of, this is nourishing. This is a bit of hydration. This is
new, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, happy days. We're not being, absolutely flogged by caffeine.
Yeah.
Because we go to stimulants because we wake up, and more often than not, we wake up going, oh, I've had such a bad night's sleep. Oh, I can't function. So we go to the nearest stimulant to give us an immediate hit, because that's what we all seek. We love a bit of convenience. We want to get straight on the ball and straight out to work.
That's it.
So we look for the easiest option. That's kind of man, isn't it? We love convenience, and we're
busy. Everybody's got busy lives, haven't they? Like you say, you get kids to school, you're doing this, you're rushing to work, you're on there, you've got doctors, everything's manic all the time, isn't it?
Isn't it? So then once we've addressed some of the hydration in the body, we then look to the diet. Because what we then want from the food is hydrating, alkalizing food.
Yes.
Yeah, and again, so much of what we're eating is acidic.
Yeah.
So much of what we're eating isn't even food. It's shocking, because billions are spent on research into how people can make products and laden them with chemicals that are going to get people's brains addicted. And change the biochemistry of the body and the brain. And that's,
it's disgusting, isn't it?
It is, and it's terrifying, Stacey.
It is. But we've got all these young people now. There's a lady I know, and she went year below me at school. I've just gone 40, so she was about 38, and she's just died of breast cancer.
Oh,
the amount of people that are getting these cancers at such a young age, and it's like, whereas once if you were sort of over 70, you were more inclined, it's getting younger and younger and younger. And if all we're doing is pumping our bodies with these chemicals that are getting you addicted, and you think you're eating decent stuff. It's absolutely disgusting, I
It
think.
is disgusting. It is absolutely disgusting. You're right, and the system out there is allowing it to happen.
Yeah.
And you know, we're all
We're encouraging it, aren't we? We're encouraging it. We're saying, here, there's billions, do some research. Let's get us all addicted. We're just like sheep, aren't we?
We are, Stacey. You're absolutely right, and it's absolutely shocking. It's slanderous. It's absolute. People should be held to account.
Absolutely.
You know, it's disgusting. You know, the food industry, the pharmaceutical industry. You know, it's just creating consumers out of us because you know, we're getting all these chronic ailments. Therefore, we go to the pharmacies to laden up even more with drugs that help ease some of the symptoms, but don't actually address the root cause.
That's
you
it.
know, and it's devastating because actually the body is a wealth of intelligence beyond our comprehension. The body knows it keeps the score. There's a very good book. The body keeps the score. You know, the body has so much intelligence and so much wisdom. If only we could sort of remove ourselves from it, the body would know what to do to heal itself. You know, and that is just looking to very simple things like yourself, growing your own herbs, growing your own crops, going back to purity, stripping away from all the chemicals, all the toxicity, all the dehydrating aspects of our lives, you know, and returning to purity. And the body will start to activate its healing mechanisms. It'll start to gradually move away from a chronic stress state to then a rest and recovery and healing state. But we all live in such a massive chronic stress in every context.
Yeah.
You know, so going back to the foods, we would go back to addressing a person's diet, you know, and if they're going to McDonald's every night, no offense, McDonald's, but what the hell are you providing? You know, what are you giving us? You know, if we're going to that level of processed food every day, you know, we'll be looking to say to that individual, well, look, let's look at reducing the amount of processed food, and let's look at start introducing some real pure, lovely vegetables from the garden or from your organic market. You know, and you'd be amazed how much the body then suddenly goes, oh, wow, what the hell's this? This is beautiful. I know what to do with this. This is real food. You know, and then you start to see like a cellular level, which is where we want to get to, which is the foundations, the makings of the body, our cells. You then start to see the health of the cells start to become, you know, healthier again and start to flourish as we nourish them and get that balance of hydration and good foods, you know, in there working in alignment with the body. Because again, our cells, you know, it's very clever, the science of it, you know, our cells with all the toxicity and the dehydration and the acidity and what we're pumping the body with, our cells will very, very cleverly try to protect themselves so that the body will make lots of cholesterol to protect the cell membrane. So we go on about cholesterol being bad, but actually, it's a protective mechanism for the body. The body deploys it to say, oh my goodness, the cells are being damaged here. Let's scurry around and let's protect the cell membrane. So that's actually what the cholesterol's doing. It's building up to protect it. But then because it's protecting it, we then struggle to get any hydration into the cell.
In there.
Do you see what I mean, Stacey?
Yeah.
It's a lot of things about, you know, really attuning oneself to one's body and addressing all those finer balances and what's really going on at a deeper level within the body.
So just going back a couple of steps here. So when you mentioned Celtic sea salt, I tell everybody to do that. And I also tell everybody to get the lemon in the water, because actually lemon, although it's an acidic fruit, actually turns your stomach alkaline.
It does,
Yeah.
Stacey. You're absolutely right. You've just got to be careful with lemon when you're actually putting it into the mouth, because
It's your
obviously
teeth,
it's
isn't
still
it?
very acidic and it can be
Mm.
quite erosive on the, enamel.
Enamel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's quite good if you have a straw or something to maybe
Yes.
just take it through a straw, or you can get some fantastic oils out there. doTERRA is a
Yes.
pure
Oil. Yeah.
company that
Yeah.
do the most amazing oils, and their lemon is probably one of their cheaper oils. And
Yeah.
all you need is one tiny drop in your
And it's
water.
very, very strong. Very
Oh,
strong.
it
Yeah.
is, and that's an abundance of wonderful, quality
Yeah.
nutrition going into your body right there and then with your water,
Yes.
your sea salt. It's an absolute hydration bomb. It's brilliant, and also lemon's incredibly supportive on your liver.
Mm.
And our livers are working so hard to get rid of the toxicity. So any bit of help we can give them, the better. And lemon is something that if you wake up in the morning, and that's all it needs in the morning, waking up to a nice warm glass of filtered water,
Yeah.
drop a lemon, your Celtic sea salt, good quality, just a pinch, and boom, your body then gets a message and through to your vital organs and to your lovely liver, to hydrate again and to cleanse, and to set off your body on a really good stint for the day.
You see, the salt is the one in the Celtic salt is one that actually pulls it into your cells. It's that in it, so you're not just flushing yourself through constantly.
Yes,
yeah,
you're quite right. You're quite
yeah.
right. It all works in a really fine balance together with our electrolytes. In the way that it pulls in and out of the cells, and with that alkalizing electrolytes, which are our magnesium,
Yes.
and potassium, and then our acidic ones are calcium and sodium, and the four together all work. They're supposed to work in a beautiful, harmonized way.
Yeah.
We get so imbalanced because of the state of our cells, and that's where it's all at. You have to go strip right back to the cellular health. It's like looking at a house, and if you've built a house on bricks on a foundation that's not right, and you've got cement oozing out and you've got cracks here and there, then the rest of the house it's not going to be stable. It's not going to function properly, is it? And it's going to seep things in and out, and it's going to be a right mess, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you kind of got to look at the body in a similar way.
So when you talk about naturopathy and the foods and what have you, would you still eat meat?
I mean, for me personally, on my journey at the moment as well, I do require a little bit of meat because of some of my deficiencies, and some of those being quite a strong imbalance as well for me. It sounds awful, but I do borrow the energy from meat and fast track in some cases, to balance my body, and help myself be less symptomatic. Like iron, for example.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I've been cleansing my liver, and I look to some grass-fed, beef liver to help my liver, because of the choline aspect. The choline content, which is particularly effective for cleansing the liver. So I might use animals to fast track. I'm a very nature animal loving human. So one day I would like to, just try to be at a point in my body where I can just live off the plants and veg and things.
So naturopathy doesn't state that actually you've got to have like a vegetarian diet or anything like that.
No, it does. The course that I'm on, which is run by a wonderful woman, Emma Jones Phillips, the founder of the School of Naturopathic Nutrition in Wales. She's incredible, and her obviously it is actually all very vegetarian. And vegan, vegan really, but I guess that's for me personally, I see that as because that they've got their bodies to such a wonderful balance and purity, and you know that they're able, very much able to live a life without going to the animals, without leaning on meats.
Yeah.
Um,
You see, when we sorry, Mum.
No, carry on.
You know, when we were talking about omega-3 being very important for the body. So, a little bit of education, if you would, for me then. So, I don't eat fish at all. It's not for me. Not for me at all, thank you. So then, would it then be a supplement, or is there another way we can get quite a lot of omega-3 from food without fish?
Yeah. Again, depending on your constitution and your body type and your deficiencies and imbalances, it will be dependent. But you can go to the algae. You can go to powdered algae, your seaweed. But powdered algae are amazing. You obviously, if you were happy to have, like, you didn't eat fish, but you were happy to have fish oils in a supplement, that's another way. So you could have your fish oils, or just go to the algae.
Right. Oh, I'll have a look at that then. That's good. Because I'll tell you why. So I've got polycystic ovaries. Well, actually, for polycystic ovaries, omega-3 is quite important. I didn't realise.
Yeah.
But it is important anyway, isn't it? But that's some of the reason that set me off on my herbalism journey. So I'm obviously studying herbalism, and I find some of the way that you talk is very similar to herbalism.
Right.
In a fact that we would look at the whole person. So as a herbalist would look at, let's say, for example, let's say you represented with perhaps some cold sores, perhaps, you know, you'd been tired, you'd had a sore throat for a few weeks. If you went to a doctor now, they would treat the cold sore with some cream, you'd get maybe a lozenge for your throat, and you might get some antibiotics if needed. In herbalism, we would look at what's been going on over the last 6 months. We might find then within the last 6 months that actually you'd moved home, but why have you moved home? So is it that your tenancy were up? Is it that you're pregnant and you've got a bigger family coming? Is it you've had a breakdown in a relationship? And all those things are different stress factors which set off different things within the body.
Absolutely.
So we wouldn't look at the cold sore as such, we'd look at why have you got the cold sore?
Yes.
So going right back to the body.
The root cause.
That's it. So that set me off on my, all right. So what about the polycystic ovaries? Now, I used to get quite a lot of facial hair. I still do get a little bit of a beard going on, but it's a lot more manageable. And I learned that actually if your body has spearmint in and less sugar, then actually your hair on your face is nowhere near as bad.
Yeah.
Now, the doctor would want to say to me, well, you know, you could have this hormone, you could have that hormone. Well, I don't want it.
Yeah, I hear you.
You know what I mean? Because we're altering my hormone then. It's you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're working it. Yeah, you're just masking it and working against what your natural, you know, body type is and what your yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I hear you completely. Yeah, it is about addressing the root cause for you. What is going on at a deeper level for you? And that can be a mental, physical, spiritual, emotional.
Exactly.
Because if one's out of balance, likely
everything's out.
Yeah, everything's out. You're quite right. So yeah, and although again it's back to that convenience for man, isn't it? We want a quick fix. Let's go and get that cream, slap it on, and
that's it, job done.
And job done. But then I would argue that it's still there at a deeper level.
Of course it is. I mean, lemon balm. I grow lemon balm in my garden. It's the easiest thing to grow. Amazing for cold sores.
Amazing. Nice.
I mean, absolutely. It's like a couple of days with it and you're like, well, the sting's gone, the pain's gone, it's going. So I just think, you know, if we can just grow a little bit of something in garden and just try a little bit of something else that's not a chemical, that's not going to alter anything that we are, let's just try it. Why don't we just try it?
Absolutely, absolutely. And going back to your condition, Stacey, or however you would describe it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's clearly your body flagging up to you. You know, there's imbalances here, there's deficiencies here, Stacey. You know, what is your endocrine system telling you? You know, and you've already worked out for yourself that, oh, actually, if I don't have as much sugar, you know, I'm not getting as much of that excess androgens or whatever it is, you know, producing that excess hair on the face. And again, it is just about learning yourself and attuning yourself to your own body, trying to like remove yourself from all the external, you know, infiltration of, oh, it's probably this, Stacey, oh, it's that, oh, take this pill, Stacey, and you'll be fine. You know, it's about you connecting with your body and saying, right, okay, what is going on here? What am I more top heavy with? What am I imbalanced with? If I put some, you know, healthy fats in there, will that decrease the sugar cravings? And, you know, it's playing around with your own body and trying to get, you know, that equilibrium back. Because in naturopathy, and I'm sure in herbalism as well, that's what we believe, you know, that given the right conditions, and that's what it's all about, the right conditions within your body, the body knows what to do.
It can heal itself.
It can heal itself. And we can use all of nature's incredible plants and herbs and things out there to support us. Because at the end of the day, that's where pharmaceuticals came from as well.
Exactly.
You know, it came from the planet, from nature. That's how good it is out there. That's how much out there can support us and heal us. It's just how we, you know, go about these things as to whether it is going to work for us or not, you know. And it requires a lot of patience and a lot of connection to your true self, doesn't it?
It does, and that's what I was just going to say with patience. So, I mean, with polycystic ovaries, when I were looking to have my children, that's when I found out I was struggling to get pregnant.
Right.
And that's when I found out I had the polycystic ovaries. So, and I really, really wanted children. So if doctor had told me then, I mean, obviously I didn't do any of my herbal work then, had told me then that, you know, take all these pills, this will sort it out, I'd have just took them because, you know, that's, some people are absolutely desperate for a family, and I totally get that. Now, I wouldn't dream of taking anything now, because obviously I've got my children, and the only thing that really they would do with polycystic ovaries is to help you with fertility. They don't really treat any of the other symptoms unless, you know, it's a massive, massive issue. Well, a bit of facial hair to me, that's the only thing that now would be a symptom of mine, because the other things I seem to have cured. So I use a lot of different things that herbs wise that help me with like the imbalance. Rosemary is another great one for like brain fog and things like that. So if there's any sort of imbalance that way, I try and use the different herbs. But I ended up with type 2 diabetes. I'm hoping, well, I'm saying I'm hoping, I'm on my route to curing it now. And again,
brilliant.
It's cutting out the sugar, but a lot of herbs can help. So things like fennel, fenugreek, things like that really help lower your sugar. Cinnamon's another one.
Oh, cinnamon's absolutely brilliant.
Amazing.
Sugar. Absolutely brilliant,
I didn't realise that if you've got polycystic ovaries, you're more likely to develop type 2 diabetes. And these are all things you don't know.
It's interesting, and it makes sense when you look at the endocrine system as well, because if one hormone is out of balance, then the rest of them are going to be. You know, and for women, especially of our age as well, you know, it's that time where we're declining in certain hormones naturally anyway, and we're looking to reserves. And a lot of that is adrenal stuff as well. And our adrenals over the years have been hammered, so they're knackered, you know, and exhausted, and our ovaries, you know, are a bit depleted. So we're leaning on the adrenals, which are struggling, which then, you know, we lean to like the pancreas, and insulin then starts to, you know, spike a lot more. We become more susceptible to type 2 diabetes. But you do right, Stacey, because type 2 diabetes, if we could, again, just attune ourselves to our own bodies a bit better, it is reversible, you know, and again, it's the body just out of balance, you know, because I'm susceptible to, you know, too much sugar as well, you know, and it throws my blood sugars all over the place. And I actually did an interesting experiment with myself, wearing a continuous blood sugar monitor. So I wore this glucose blood sugar monitor for 2 weeks on my arm. Now, whenever I've been to the doctors in the past, a standard test has always said that, you know, I'm absolutely fine. Now, wearing this continuous monitor showed that I was both hyper and hypo on blood sugar in response. And to quite an extreme. I'd go really low and then really high. And it was all in response to certain things that I was having. And that included what we perceive to be healthy foods as well. And it was very interesting. You know, I'd given up dairy and I was using a lot of oat milk. Well, oat milk, you know, was making my blood sugar spike. And some of my sweet vegetables, because I was going for my sweet vegetables because I wanted that sugar hit. You know, well, some of them were making my blood sugar spike as well. You know, potatoes. Oh my word, horrendous. You know, and again, it's very individual to each person.
It is.
You know, the way your body processes potatoes will be completely different to the way mine does. So there's no one generic, there's no one fits all at all.
No.
Far from it.
But it's interesting about the hydration, because I actually learned, trying to cure myself of the diabetes, that if you're dehydrated, your sugar goes through the roof.
Exactly.
Sugar is through the roof, where you think that you're not putting all in, so your body's like, don't need, you know, it's not, there's no sugar spike. But if you are dehydrated, your sugars can go through the roof.
Absolutely, Stacey. Absolutely, yeah.
It's just like, stop it, just let me be, innit?
Yeah, and you know, it is quite challenging and hard work to really start to cleanse the body, and put in those hydration protocols. But if you do have the patience and time with yourself, and you'll know this, you do start to see symptoms start to alleviate. And in some cases disappear altogether. The more you work with your body, the more you get it to a position of hydration, again, back to those foundation stages, then everything you do on top of that will be of benefit.
Absolutely.
But if you're trying to work with a very dehydrated body and just feed it more, even feeding it healthy stuff, you know, it's not going to have any effect, because it's just so dehydrated. You know, that as you pointed out, it sets off a cascade of symptoms, and you can then end up with your blood sugars that you can't balance because you're still dehydrated.
That's it. But it wasn't until, like I say, I looked into that. So I got myself one of these right big silly bottles, you know what I mean, that holds 2.5 litres of water. And I don't take it out of the house, because I always feel like you look at me with this. Do you know what I mean? I drink water. Telling everybody I drink water. Look at me, I drink water. So I have it at home, and I stay up in the morning, and I make sure I get through it each day. Now, sometimes I might have 2 of those, which is 5 litres, but that's when it's like really hot, or I've been doing a lot of things. When I do my readings, it's a lot of energy work. So we, as body, use a lot of water then. So, and especially if I've been healing. So, in there, I might put some chia seeds, some lemon, some ginger, and a little bit of Celtic salt. So
nice.
But what I notice is, if I don't drink a full one of those, I'm thirsty. The body gets used to having that level of, like, I need that water in, and I think I haven't drunk out for an hour or something. I need a drink.
Yeah, Brilliant.
You could go hours normally without having a drink, a brew, or but I
Yeah.
do find now I'm like, no, I need a drink. I need to drink
That's
them out
brilliant.
straight.
And that's because you've now brought your body back to more of a purer state, that it now activates that thirst mechanism. Whereas when you're dehydrated and living in these levels of acidity that a lot of us are, your body's natural mechanisms get switched off. And those messages and our network of signals and things start to misfire and start to get confused because of all the extra chemicals and toxicity we're putting into the body. The body's not effectively communicating anymore. So a lot of us lose the thirst signals. We don't have satiation signals either. Our ghrelin and leptin get all confused, which is our fullness and hunger hormones. They get all confused. So we might start overeating, because we've got no mechanism telling us that, oh, you're full now, by the way, you're full, So yeah, absolutely. And it's a beautiful thing when, you start to experience like your natural mechanisms switch back on again. You're like, oh, I feel thirsty. Wow. Oh my gosh, I could just drink this pint of water.
That's it.
Because I don't know if you'll have heard this, Stacey, but a lot of my friends and family, they'll say to me, oh, but I just don't like plain water. It's got to have some, and that's because we've been programmed now that
we need the sugar.
We need that sweetness, we need that sugar in the water. But of course, it's working against us because it's not hydrating the cells effectively because of the sugar element. And it's fair to say that we will get a bit of a glucose, energy stint in the brain and the body, but it's working so much against us these days. And we should be able to just naturally hydrate from just plain water.
So how long does naturopathy take to learn? Is there a set time on it, or is it like for 2 years, or do you just carry on?
My course is 3 years, and I've just come to the end of my second year. And I cannot tell you, I can't even begin to articulate into words these past 2 years for me. It's been the biggest roller coaster of my life. Excuse me. Absolutely. I guess prior to discovering naturopathy, I was living in an exceptionally imbalanced, deficient, chronically stressed body and mind. And probably from, being a little child as well, and that pattern set in very early on for me with a whole abundance of trauma. My life journey was just then a mass of toxicity. I used stimulants hugely to get through school, to get through uni, to get through life, to get through getting a good job, working, getting up in the mornings. I didn't realise how much I was a product of stimulants, caffeine, Red Bull, coffees. At the time I smoked, so cigarettes and, a bit of alcohol every now and then as well. And that's how I was getting by. And then, of course, I felt really poorly about sort of 5-6 years ago. And that really shook my whole body and mind. That was like a real sort of breakdown for my body and mind. And that's when I went through the medical system and ended up on a whole cocktail of drugs after, one after the other. And I was walking around like a zombie with all these drugs inside of me. And I just felt even worse and didn't really get any answers to my chronic ailments. But, my body was just breaking down, which then led me to naturopathy. And I've in the 2 years, I've weaned myself off everything. In terms of toxicity and stimulants, and I'm on the path of sort of purity and cleansing my body. And wow, I can't say it's been an easy journey by any stretch. And I've had to really look at all my sort of imbalances and deficiencies, and that's been very painful at times. But I've found new paths a new joy, new hope, new gratitude, just love for the planet and what's out there, and nature, and the beauty out there, and the universal, the quantum field, everything that can heal us out there. You know, it's magical, Stacey. What nature provides out there, it is mind-bending. You know, it's incredible. I mean, all we need to know is out there. And, you know, all we need to know is first and foremost inside here within each and every one of us. And then for helping ourselves and supporting ourselves on our journey on this planet, it's out there in nature and on the planet. And that's quite... you know, when I look back, I think, God, I'm not the same woman that I grew up as. I'm a completely different being now.
I must admit, me going on my spiritual journey and what have you, I was talking to my husband last night, and I said, you know, my twins will be 18 in January, and we were talking, and I don't ever feel like I were a bad parent. I wasn't going down on myself or out like that. But what I did say was there were a point where I sort of wish when they were younger they got this version of me, because now I feel like when they were little, we were busy. We had a business to run. It were this, it were that, everything were 100 miles an hour all the time. They were at work with us. It were like, come on, we're going here. Come on, eat your tea, we're going. And I just feel like now I'm not totally healed, because I don't feel like we'd ever totally heal ourselves, but this different version of me, it's a totally different version as what it was when I was younger. So me now, I sort of wish that they'd have had part of that, because, I mean, they'll get part of it now in the grown life, but when they were younger, I feel like I might have molded them a little bit different, or they might have seen different things. But I don't know. I totally get you there. I'm nowhere near the same person that I was.
Yeah.
I think once you open to changing small things, big things come.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. But with your kids though, I bet even back then though, there was still elements of yourself that subconsciously, you know,
there will
were coming through the quantum, were there being, you know, were seeping out in different ways that you were completely oblivious to back then. But you've just, you know, come more into fruition, into a conscious way of being now. And I mean, they'll be soaking that up now as well. And
they will. That's it. They've still got me, haven't they? They've still got this version. Just later on, I suppose.
Yeah, but I mean, how beautiful is that, Stacey? And obviously, I do believe as well that, you know, it's all at the right time for each of us.
It is, very much. But I'm a massive believer in that.
I am, and what we put out there in the universe responds back to us. You know? And it's all in a matter of course for our own soul's journey and where we're supposed to be at. And I mean, I've had, going back to what I was saying before, I've had, you know, the past few years of absolute, I mean, it has been turmoil and up and down, like the biggest roller coaster you've ever known. It's been crazy, but having said that, you know, I've also had this really strong trust that it is the way it's meant to be.
Yes, absolutely.
Even if it's more painful than hell, you know, at times, it's the way that it's supposed to be.
Absolutely.
And that it will come, you know, my being will come into alignment at the right times, at the right points, and you know, and connect, you know, at the right times with the right people, like connecting with yourself.
That's
today, that energy field between us, that shared connection, that love and abundance of what's out there in herbs and plants and naturopathy and the planet. And it's magic, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Do you know, Liesl, it's been amazing talking today. I've thoroughly enjoyed myself.
We might have to come back for
part 2. We might have to have a part 2.
We absolutely might, I don't think we've got into it enough yet, have we?
I don't. I could have you here for hours.
Likewise. I'm loving it, Stacey. It's been absolutely, what a beautiful delight to connect with you and have a good practice.
I've right enjoyed it. Thank you.
I have.
So I will get you rebooked in, and we're going to have a part 2.
Brilliant.
Heard it here now, ladies and gents, for having a part 2.
Amazing. Woo! I can't wait for part 2, because that's the thing, you know, once you'll find this, Stacey, once you're on your journey, you know, there's twists and turns and new things come in and new exciting things that come to you, and you go through periods where you're flooded with new information, and it's such a buzz, and you just want to share that in abundance with others, don't you? And help everybody to have that joy and love and compassion and real, you know, cellular energy amongst us all, and just changing the face of that toxic, dehydrating world out there to a more joy, kindful and loving and hydrated world. That's
it very much so. I will have you back very soon, and thank you very much for joining me today.
Thank you, Stacey.
Yeah, see you in a bit.